up, guys? It's your boy Alex, and welcome back to the Brave Lionheart channel. More specifically, we are back with some more Lionheart review corner today for you, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we're back with another review, and this is one that has actually been asked by Infinity Studios. He asked me to do this as a review for a while now, and actually he asked me to do this back when I couldn't do any more reaction videos, when I couldn't get things going for that, so kind of a little late. Sorry, just had lunch a little bit, but yeah, kind of a late review for Infinity Studios, but hey, as long as he does like it, and as long as you guys like it too. Sorry, I got tongue-tied there for a second. But anyway, yes, today we're doing another review, and it's a Disney film we're talking about today. Not your particular Disney film, mind you, but more from their company that they worked with, Pixar. And not a typical Pixar movie, mind you. Actually, an original creation that Pixar came up with. Again, like most of their other films. So I guess you could say it's a typical Pixar movie. But the best thing about this one, it was put on a streaming service. And that streaming service that Disney owned, Disney Plus. And just what would the name of this original Pixar movie would, what's the name of it? Basically what I'm trying to say. Well, my friends, that name is Luca. Disney and Pixar's Luca was Pixar's first attempt at making an original film for Disney Plus's streaming service, and surprisingly worked out pretty well. The story follows, well, let's be honest and say it's an actual fish out of water story, emphasis on the fish being a sea monster nonetheless, named Luca, who dreams of being in the human world. Or I guess you could say this movie was Pixar's attempt at a retelling of The Little Mermaid, if the roles were swapped, or gender swapped basically. I mean, with stories being made nowadays with gender swapped The Little Mermaid characters and gender swapped Disney characters, that could be a possibility. I mean, we could eventually get a gender-swapped version of The Little Mermaid. Not saying it will happen, I'm just saying it could be a possibility. Anyway, he wants to be on the human world, and he meets some new friends along the way, one in particular being another sea monster, and one being a human girl, and try to see if they can fit into this human Italian world, basically. Well, more specifically, an Italian village, but you get the idea. So, let's get our scuba gear on and go be a part of Luca's world. Sorry, I've got Little Mermaid on my mind now after saying that at the beginning of this video. Anyway, let's take a look at Pixar's Luca. So, our film opens up on a small Italian village. I completely forgot the name of it, actually. I will probably forget a lot of, like, character names. And so I might make up names again as I will do, but you know how it works. Anyway, we open up at a small Italian village where a couple fishermen are basically fishing for a sea monster, because the news said they spotted one out in the ocean. Well, it just so happens they're in luck, because a sea monster is right under their boat, basically stealing and checking out all their human stuff. Yeah. Seems like the Little Mermaid just is creeping up on us now in this movie. Anyway, the actual opening is the introduction to our character Luca in his beautiful underwater home, and I gotta say, Pixar definitely knows how to animate water effects for their movies whenever it's an underwater scene that they're trying to show off. Anyway, Luca is a fish sheep herder. Yeah, never thought I'd actually say that. Anyway, he's trying to do his job until he sees something that basically fell from above, and he gets called on by his mom saying he needs to come home and, you know, stuff like that. A lot of the rest of this movie, I'm just gonna, you know, save you guys the time. A lot of this movie is just Luca trying to keep in mind that, yeah, he has seen human stuff, but he basically wants to go up there and his parents won't let him, so yeah, that really just doesn't go anywhere as much, but, you know, we're just gonna move on from that. Anyway, as Luca tries to see what exactly the human stuff is and where it came from, he's introduced to the other sea monster character of this movie, Alberto Scorfano. And I would try to pronounce Luca's last name, but I'm not that good at speaking other languages as shown as much. Anyway, Alberto basically pulls Luca up, and we actually get a really cool little transformation sequence with Luca turning from his sea monster form into his human form. And again, it's done well with what Pixar has given us in the past few years. Like, good stuff, basically. Anyway, Alberto introduces Luca to the world of the human stuff, and introduces him to the small village that they sort of live at, I guess. I mean, technically they live in the water in the village, so yeah, they kind of live there. It's awkward that they didn't mention that they do actually live there, which could have been a good cover for their alibi when they go into the village later. You know, something like that. But, yeah. Anyway, Luca's kind of having a good time hanging out with Alberto and whatnot. And Alberto dreams of riding a Vespa. It's a sort of Italian scooter thing. You could just, like I just said, it's just an Italian scooter. And they kind of build one that doesn't really do much except make a jump off a ramp and stuff. And somehow Luca's parents find out about this, and well, there is a dream sequence where they technically see him without his fishy parts for some odd reason, but anyway. They find out about Luca going to the surface, and unlike King Triton, who destroyed all of Ariel's stuff that she found, they call in possibly the creepiest character in the entire movie. Luca's uncle, who I guess happens to be an anglerfish. Just a very chubby one, and also we can see inside his body. Now, I'm not sure if that's a thing. I actually don't know. I'm not very good with, like, fish anatomy or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure anglerfish can, like, you know, are translucent half the time. You guys let me know in the comment section down below if I'm right about that, if anglerfish are translucent and whatnot, but yeah. Anyway, things don't go too well for Luca, so he decides to run away. Like most Disney characters do, and then they end up coming back to the family. Not in this situation. I'll talk about that once we get to it. But Luca runs away, goes back to Alberto, and he says, yeah, we're to go to that town, get a Vespa, and ride on out of here. So, Alberto and Luca make their way to the village, inconspicuously trying to avoid, you know, getting noticed as sea monsters, even though you guys are in human form. But it shows that, like, if you just get a splash of water on them, they will revert back to their sea monster form. Surprisingly, and thus they're introduced to the third member of the group, Julia, who happens to be riding a little cart thing that's selling stuff to the village. Anyway, she's training for the local Porto Rosso Cup, which, by the way, I had to look up the name of the village just to confirm if I remembered it or anything. But yeah, for the annual local Porto Rosso Cup. Sorry, I'm just getting tongue-tied. Anyway, she's training for it, which happens to be an Olympic triad thing that the village is going on, and she's been training her whole life, but has never really won it, and she needs a team of 3 people to, you know, actually compete. Well, it just so happens that, It just so happens that Alberto and Luca are the perfect candidate, because the first prize for winning the Porto Rosso Cup is a Vespa. So the team joins. And then we're introduced to our main villain of the movie, Ercole. I may be mispronouncing the names wrong. Let me know in the comment section if I am, because, again, not too good with names. You could just say that he's a Italian version of a prep, or a preppy guy from, like, a local club or, like, golf course club, something like that. And yeah, he's kind of an annoying villain in the movie. Yep. But enough about that. We are actually introduced to Julia's father, who is kind of like the father from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, except he has one arm because he lost it trying to find the sea monster and basically kill it. Yikes. And we actually do get some character development with him and Alberto, and it's actually really kind of sweet when you see it. considering Julia's father never really had a son and he always wanted one, but he still loves his daughter, basically. Anyway, for the most part, we do get a training montage of Alberto and Luca training, and surprisingly, they can't do the swimming competition because, of course, yeah, there's 3 parts to the competition. There's an eating portion, there's swimming, and then there's the derby, basically, for the whole race and for the whole thing. And, you know, they can't swim because they'll get exposed as sea monsters, which doesn't really go too well later on when Alberto and Luca have a little argument fight, saying that, like, you know, you only care about, you know, being with her, and you didn't want to come with me to get a Vespa, blah, 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 something like that. And it leads to Alberto kind of revealing himself as a sea monster, and Luca kind of turning on Alberto at the last second, which is actually a pretty sad moment when you watch it. But things get better later when Julia finds out that, yeah, Luca's a sea monster also. So their friendship is kind of destroyed. Not really. Anyway, while that's going on, Luca's parents are around trying to find him. And they almost spot him, surprisingly. Anyway, the big day of the Porto Rosso Cup comes, and it's just down to Julia and Luca to win this, surprisingly. So, yeah, Luca basically does okay in the swimming contest. He has a diver suit, which, like, the glass kind of breaks a little bit. He kind of does good in the eating competition. Things aren't going too well. And it's all down to the race, which things are going pretty too bad for Luca because it just happens to rain. Of course. The plot always has to throw in something inconvenient for the characters. Well, anyway, Luca's doing pretty bad until Alberto shows up to distract everyone to say that he is a sea monster, and Hercule almost tries to kill him, but Luca, in an epic moment, goes to rescue Alberto and reveals himself as a sea monster too, and pretty much reveals to the entire town. And at this point you think, oh yeah, everyone's gonna kill them, including the dad. But no, the dad does the sweetest thing, and it's because he had all those nice bonding moments with Alberto. He declares the 3 of them the winner of the Porto Rosso Cup, and they basically toss Hercule into the ocean, and he's never seen for the rest of the movie. Speaking of the rest of the movie, everyone gets together with Luca's parents and all that, and they have a nice time, you know, considering they're sea monsters and all that. But yeah, everything has a good time, except, oh yeah, there was also a bit in the movie where Luca, during the argument with Alberto, said he wanted to go to human school. And that was going to be kind of a big problem because he's a sea monster and there's water fountains everywhere that kind of go on the fritz half the time, so yeah, it's fine. Alberto goes, or actually no, Luca goes while Alberto stays with Julia's dad, and it's honestly a really sad moment in the entire movie. Like, just seeing the 2 friends, you know, leaving each other, but, you know, he'll come and visit them and whatnot, and kind of leaving his parents and throwing them under the bus, not going back with them, but you know how it is. You know how it is. It's a sad moment, and with that, Luca leaves the village, and this movie never got a sequel. I don't know why it never got a sequel. It deserves one. Alright, there you go, guys. That was my review of Pixar's Luca, and I gotta say, I love this movie. It might be in a contender for my top 10 favorite Pixar movies of all time. It's that good, guys. It's a really good original movie from Pixar and for Disney+. I'm gonna get this right off the way. The visuals are beautiful. Like every other Pixar movie I've seen, the visuals are great, the backgrounds are amazing, it helps flesh out the characters a bit more. Speaking of which, let's just jump straight into the characters. I love the characters in this movie. Yeah, Hercule is kind of an annoying villain, but, you know, he's a preppy guy, you have to think about it. I think my favorite characters out of this whole movie are both Alberto and the father. I love the character development that they get throughout this entire movie. And I know for a fact Disney Plus is coming out with a series for Alberto and the dad, which I am definitely going to be checking out. But yeah, I love the chemistry they have with the 2, especially the chemistry that Alberto and Luca have. And you know, it's funny because Luca doesn't really get much character development in this movie, sadly. I know, it's surprising. You might like, hate me on that opinion, I'm thinking, but yeah, for his own movie, most of the character development is given to Alberto, not much for Luca. He's basically just, you know, wanting to be in the human world, and he leaves off for school instead of Alberto. Granted, yeah, it still is a sad ending in my opinion. What's funny is, my sister and I watched this. I watched it a second time with her. It's so sad. Like, it literally, she actually cried during the ending of the movie, and I teared up a little bit too. It's a good movie, honestly. The casting is awesome, and the story itself I really do like, even though it's kind of like a Little Mermaid. It took me a while to figure that out, but I still love the story nonetheless. So, what do I give Disney and Pixar's Luca, or just Pixar's Luca? Well, for having a great cast, for having great characters, great visuals, and for an overall great story, I'm going to give this movie a 10 out of 10. I love it. I love it. If any of you have not watched it yet, I highly recommend you go watch it. It's a great Pixar movie. And it's a fun family film, too. For the kids, basically. And yeah, for any Pixar fan out there watching this, it's a good movie. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell to never miss a new video. With that being said, I will see all you awesome guys and gals later. Bye-bye!